Hello all you shining stars and welcome to my channel, Shining Star Soup. You might want to know why you're staring at a stove right now. Well, I thought it would be a fun little video to go through the process of me trying to dye my silk pillowcase Petal Pink. Alright, so I did get this, I've failed. I have failed at trying to dye fabric before. I tried to dye a Jeffree Star kangaroo jacket pullover and it was a disaster. I followed all the directions to the T, only to have the hair dye just go down the kitchen sink. So literally that it was a fail. So I'm hoping that this is not a fail. Now the thing is with this silk pillowcase, because I got it from Amazon, I'm not 100% sure how authentic it is. It's supposed to be, if my phone will focus here, 100% mulberry silk, and I don't even really know what brand this is. I don't remember who made it. As far as like silk pillowcases go, I mean, it's all right. It doesn't feel as soft as I thought a silk pillowcase would. The reason why I chose a silk pillowcase is because I've read online and I've heard a lot of people talk about how silk pillowcases are better for your hair, for your skin. They tend to absorb less oils from your skin in the night. They keep cooler on your pillowcase than the regular polyester blend pillowcases do. So the reason why I am in desperate need of coloring, wanting to dye this, is because obviously I got some stains on there from my hair dye. And those are not coming out with regular washes, and because I don't want to use bleach and completely ruin the pillowcase, which I think was like $23. Silk pillowcases can run, for a queen size, can run anywhere from $20 to, I've seen as high as $80 for one single silk pillowcase. Because I paid only like $20 for this, I'm not 100% sure on the authenticity and the fact that it came from a random Amazon brand. So I'm hoping that this Petal Pink hair dye, yeah, I dye my hair a lot, fabric dye is going to work out. So I'm going to do, this is also supposed to be good for silk, if it'll focus for me. I really need to get a new setup if I'm going to keep on doing these type of videos. Yeah, it's supposed to be good for silk. So I'm going to film, and hopefully we have a success at the end of the video. Alright, you'll see a cut, and we will go by step. Okay, so according to the directions, you're supposed to shake well before using. Wear gloves. This thing's gonna have to be, you know, stirred constantly when this comes to about a boil. As long as it's above 140 degrees is what they recommend, but you're supposed to stir it constantly, so you really have to keep an eye on it. I used this pot once before for dyeing. I haven't used it for food. It is recommended that if you do use, you are going to need a pot for the boiling method, which seems to be the most common when it comes to dyeing things, at least with the Rit Dye, this stuff. So I do recommend having, these are expensive though. Like, I haven't used this for cooking. You're not supposed to reuse it no matter how good you clean it. Once this has dye in it, even though the dye is supposed to be non-toxic, you don't want to cook in it. So keep that in mind. Unless you're dyeing constantly, these pots are expensive. I would recommend either going to Value Village or any thrift store to get a pot like this, because one of these will run you like anywhere from $50 to $100 and up dollars for one of these ones. So you don't really want to use a stock pot once or twice. So that's just a heads up. So there's supposed to be enough water in here to fully submerge this, because I only got a pillowcase. That'll be enough water once it starts boiling. For silk, they recommend a cup of vinegar, and they also recommend about a 1/4 teaspoon of dish soap for whatever reason. So I'm just gonna estimate. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I shouldn't be estimating. But we'll see if I've just thrown away $7 here. Oh man, I really don't like this. Okay, is the water, I'm just reading really quick, is the water supposed to be boiling first? Add a cup of vinegar for nylon, silk, or wool. Add the dye, mix well. Okay, so I think you want to bring this up to temperature before adding the dye. I do have hot water in here. Okay, water should be, all right. So you're only supposed to add about a quarter, for every pound of dry fabric, use a half of a bottle. So this is not obviously a pound. However, I'm just going to go ahead and use half of the bottle for this silk pillowcase. And all right, so just to kind of go over what I'm doing here, I got a pot here that is not being used for cooking. As per the recommendations from Rit, we have a full cup of vinegar in there, as well as the dish soap. And then I'm just going to bring this up, the temperature up, before I add half a bottle of hair dye, and then of course the pillowcase. And then you're supposed to stir it for 30 minutes. Obviously, I'm not going to keep you here for 30 minutes watching me stir. I might insert a clip just to show how it's going, but the fun part is when I drain it and see if all the color washes out into the sink or not, like it did the last time I tried to dye something. If I can't dye something as simple as a silk pillowcase, I think I'm going to give up trying to do this kind of stuff. All right. Oh, and we drink Costco coffee. All right, I did tell you there might be one or two clips. So I do have half the bottle of the Rit in here. And as you can see, I definitely used more than enough water. So the idea is you want the water 140 degrees Fahrenheit at least, or up. So yeah, this is definitely at proper temperature. So I'm going to set a timer and prepare for get a little workout with my arm here, because it's supposed to be stirred constantly just to make sure that you get an even dye. I'm just hoping that stays that color and that doesn't completely rinse out once my 30 minutes are up. So I'm going to start the timer now. You're going to see another cut in the video. And yeah, see, you got to make sure everything gets pushed down, because if you don't, then the dye is not going to take properly. I am using a silicone tongs that we don't really use for cooking or for taking things out. We have other tongs for that. Alright guys, so fingers crossed that this turns out and is not a total waste of my time and money. Alright, pardon the other cut in the video. I just want to say, if you do have a pot like this, the handles get very hot, so obviously be very cautious. These pots are the worst yet the best for doing things like this. I'm only like about 6 minutes in, and I did turn down the heat a bit, just because I don't really want this to boil. I don't want to ruin the fabric that I'm not 100% sure is authentic with the silk, but still, you know, I just worry that this is going to, you know, ruin the pillowcase that I actually really like. And of course, it is darker before everything's rinsed out. Alright, so that's just my quick little update. Okay, so I was reading on the bottle, and I only have about 10 minutes left. It says 30 minutes or until desired result is achieved. Now, I am pretty confident that this will be fine, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this works. If it doesn't, with me ending it 10 minutes early, I will just, I still have half a bottle left. I can just try it again and this time make sure I stay until 30 minutes. But I'm pretty confident that this is sufficiently dyed. So the real test is going to happen now when I drain this. You have to rinse it in cold water until the water runs clear. Last time I did this with my jacket, the the water ran clear, but all the color washed down the drain. So I'm hoping that this is not the case in this case. And then you're supposed to wash it in low with a mild detergent. I only have Tide. Yeah, I'll have to figure something out for that. And with a towel. Everybody say hi to Rowan, who's making a guest appearance on this video. All right. Okay, so for the disclaimer, I did end up cutting this short, about 10 minutes. We got some cold water here. I liked using little water, as little as we need, because the pot was a lot easier to empty. You're supposed to rinse this until it runs clear. And so far so good, guys. So far so good. Looks like the dye took. So we're just going to continue doing this, and then we're going to throw it in the wash. A delicate cycle, of course, with an old towel, and I'll update you in another cut of the video with the results. But so far so good. Except that doesn't look that doesn't look very nice right now. All right, so I am pleasantly surprised. It's not really Petal Pink, but I think that has a lot to do with how long I left it in the bowl. It turned out like a Christmas red. And as far as I can tell, I mean, it looks a lot better. Very nice, clean coloring. Yeah, it's definitely more of a, kind of reminds me of Santa Claus's hat. That kind of red. And I rinsed it with cold water. The dye took really well, actually. There wasn't a lot of red water left in the sink. Yeah, this isn't Petal Pink. This is so not Petal Pink. And then I washed it in warm water with a towel. None of the dye got on the towel either. So yeah, it actually turned out better than I thought. Still feels the same, dried and delicate. So yeah, I am pleasantly surprised. At least I can successfully color a silk pillowcase. And it looks so much better. You can't even see the dye stains anymore. So 2 thumbs up. Alright, I think I might have some bad news. The moment I started putting water on it, the dye just started rolling right off. You see that? Yeah, I don't think this worked at all. Oh, well, at least I only wasted $5, right guys? Yeah, that doesn't look like it took at all. I wasted so much time standing there and stirring and following the directions. The Rit More is supposed to be for 100% polyester, and that is apparently what this is. So my thoughts are, just because I know I followed the directions as I was supposed to, maybe this isn't actually polyester. It is made in China. So, I don't know. Oh, wow, I am so disappointed. Still gonna take a picture, still gonna film a video with the after. But, yeah. Alright then. I'll see you guys soon.